What do you do if your ex isn't sure what he wants? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. But first, my name is Clay with ModernLove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not, because you deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, do me a favor by giving this video a thumbs up and at least think about subscribing to this channel if you're new here. It's right down there below, right next to that thumbs up button. If nothing else, hit that thumbs up button. It does help us with the YouTube algorithm, so please help us out if you like us. Also, I wanted to let you know that we do have a new-ish Facebook group. It's totally free. You can sign up if you're a Facebook user, connect with other people that maybe watch my videos, other people that follow me, us. I'm in there sometimes. I'm a busy guy. I've got a lot of things to do, so I don't spend a ton of time in there, but I post things in there whenever I have something to share. So check it out down below if you want to sign up if you're a Facebook user. Otherwise, no worries. All right, so we're talking about what to do when your ex doesn't know what they want and they're maybe confused, maybe they don't know if they want to get back together with you or not, and we're going to be talking about this in this video. So the important thing to know is that oftentimes after a breakup, a person's ex will kind of see them in sort of this black or white sort of way. It's like, okay, if we're interacting with one another, if we're talking to one another, if we're spending time with one another, if we're texting with one another, it means that we're either getting back together or we're going to be nothing at all. And so it can cause someone to be really confused, especially since your ex is probably going through a confusing journey themselves as well too. They're kind of drawn towards you. They're still attracted to you, obviously. They have a lot of emotion towards you, positive emotion, but at the same time, there's also the negative imprint of what happened, the negative memory of whatever caused your relationship to not work out in the first place. And so your ex could be really confused. They might at one point feel drawn towards you, at another point feel pulled away from you, and they might not know what they want. This is really common. This is one of those 5 stages your ex goes through. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you might want to check out this video series up there on the 5 stages your ex goes through. A lot of people have found it really helpful. So maybe you'll find it helpful too. But your ex is being driven by this emotion of confusion, and so they might not know what they want. And so when someone doesn't know what they want, they often just choose to stand still. And so if your ex is in that case, he may just kind of choose to remain broken up with you or to not take a step forward towards getting back together with you. And so what you want to do is you actually want to decrease that level of expectation, because he has this expectation of like, okay, either we're getting back together or nothing at all. And what we want to do is we want to decrease that expectation. So instead of being relationship focused, where he's thinking like every time we're interacting, it's either going to lead to a relationship, it's going to lead to something romantic or not, then we want to actually pull it down into something where there's kind of this gray area, not this black and white zone. And this gray area is a place where you're essentially saying like, hey, I don't know what I want. I wouldn't blame you if you were confused as well too. This is kind of confusing for both of us. We don't know how we fit into each other's lives. Obviously, our relationship didn't work out, but I think there's also some positive feelings towards one another. And it'd be a pity to just kind of throw all that away. So I could totally understand if you feel confused right now. Let's just agree to be confused together, and we'll figure this out together. And we'll figure out how to have some kind of dynamic friendship, whatever, that works for the two of us. And if it ever seems like things are moving too fast, or you're getting in over your head, or it doesn't seem like we're on the same page with things, just let me know. We'll talk about it. We'll adjust course as we need to. And at the same time, if I ever feel like I'm getting in over my head, or if you want something different than me or anything like that, I'll let you know too. And we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. And what that does is it can actually reset things down to that lower level where it's not just this all or nothing, we're getting back together or nothing at all sort of thing that's going to honestly paralyze your ex with a lot of fear, confusion, indecision, and all of that, and obviously probably not inspire them to actually take a step forward. But you're going to create this gray zone where it's okay for the two of you to be a little bit confused. It's okay for the two of you to not know how this is going to look moving forward. It's okay for the two of you to not have all the answers. And more importantly, what this is also going to do is it's going to start to bring the two of you onto the same team. This is one of the main reasons, one of the three main reasons that I've noticed that relationships don't work out in the long run. Why a relationship might decline is because the two people stop seeing each other as being on the same team. They start seeing each other as being on opposite teams. They have to manage each other's emotions for them. They have to do things like play mind games, keep score, all that stuff, and it doesn't end well. And what actually does make a relationship work is if you see your partner as being on the same team as you. And so having a conversation like this with your ex, or at least having some sort of agreement or vibe or understanding like this with your ex, brings them onto the same team as you so that the two of you can just talk about whatever needs to be talked about. You can just work through whatever needs to be worked through, and they don't have to just kind of like sit there in silence and like, well, I don't know, am I leading her on? Am I leading him on? Am I going to be that jerk that, sends mixed messages that says one day we should get back together, I miss you, and then the next day says, oh, I think we should just be friends. I think we should never talk to each other again, or whatever. Like, nobody wants to be that kind of hot mess. And so if you can create an understanding where it's not you versus them, but it's you and them figuring this out together cooperatively, then that's really obviously a much, much better dynamic for the two of you to be in. And it's something that I'd recommend that you do. I mean, like, overtly have that conversation, like I just said a few minutes ago. If you can sit them down and actually have that literal conversation with them, maybe tweak a little bit based off of your own voice and whatever happened between the two of you and all that, sure. But I would recommend actually having that conversation. And then just, of course, figure this out together. What that's going to do is it's going to allow the two of you to focus more on connecting in the present moment than on trying to figure this all out, thinking, many, many, many chess moves ahead. Instead, we're able to just say, yeah, let's just enjoy being with one another. Let's enjoy talking with one another. Let's enjoy joking. Let's enjoy texting. Let's enjoy whatever it is that you can do. And what that's going to do is that's going to start to build up that emotional foundation. That emotional foundation, one positive interaction at a time, is going to build up the connection between the two of you. And the stronger that connection gets, the stronger the bonding is going to get between the two of you. And the stronger that bonding gets, the more likely they're going to start to actually see a future with you. The more likely they're going to actually be able to get off of that point of indecision. And they're going to say, hey, you know what? I actually have liked talking with you a lot. I actually have liked connecting with you a lot. We actually have shared a lot with one another. We actually have grown closer with one another. Maybe it does make sense if we actually date again. Maybe it makes sense if we get back together again. Maybe it makes sense if we try again. And that's something that can happen when you kind of meet them where they're at emotionally. I've said that in many videos before, and people have asked me, what does it mean when you say meet them where they're at emotionally? That's one example right there. If they're confused, sit there and be confused with them. Sit there and work through that confusion with them. Create a context, an environment, an understanding where it's okay to be confused. It's okay to not have the answers. And what's going to happen is you're going to see that a lot of the armor, the defensiveness that they might have is going to go away. Because the only reason you need to be defensive against someone, the only reason you need to keep someone at arm's length, the only reason you need to manage someone else's emotions for someone is because you don't see them as being on the same team as you. And if you do see someone as being on the same team, you suddenly start to take these things off. And if there's ever anything that you don't understand, ever anything that's concerning to you, you just turn to your teammate and you say, hey, it seems like you need some space right now. Do you want me to just back off for a little while so that you can have some space to recharge your batteries, to take care of the stressful thing that you're going through, to deal with the drama with your mother or brother or whatever? And then they can just say yes or no. I mean, it's so easy. But when you're on the same team, things just become so much easier. So I'd really recommend that you do that. If your ex is confused, if they don't know what they want, if there's a lot of this pressure, this expectation that maybe I've described earlier in this video, if it seems to resonate with you, I'd really recommend that you try to get on the same team and you create the context where it's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to not know exactly how the two of you fit together. And it's okay to figure this out together, cooperatively as a team. It's helped a lot of people, and I hope it helps you too. Anyway, my name is Clay. Once again, if you like what we're doing here in these videos, do me a favor, give them a thumbs up. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. It does. I've been on YouTube for a very long time, but I've only just recently, within this past year or so, actually started to learn how to be a successful YouTuber. Up until then, I was just filming stuff and uploading it and hoping it does well. But now I'm actually taking this seriously, hence the tie. But yeah, help me out. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And if you do want to learn more about that Facebook group, there's a link to it down below. I mean, you know, it's a Facebook group. You just sign up, right? But yeah, thank you so much. If you do want to learn more about how to connect with your ex on an emotional level, we do have a video series on what we call advanced relational skills. You can find those over here, or you might want to check out this video right here. But once again, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Take care.